Live.
Yo, 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 what up? It's Deep Wave TV, man. Philly's
Yo,
finest, Swim. And then we got the number one producer. We
man,
gotta
thank you.
say, we gotta just talk for the streets, man. We got Germ, the
I
SOY
appreciate you.
squad, man. What's up, man?
I'm chilling, King. How's everything?
I can't complain, brother. I'm just glad you came to chop it with me, man. I appreciate you for your time, bro.
Nah, I appreciate you for having me, bro.
So, man, let's get into it, man. What I want to know first and foremost, I've been around the atmosphere before and the direction of where you go with your sound and everything. But I wanted to know like what started you off? How did you know you had a talent for production?
Um, like a lot of people, I started out rapping, so you know what I mean. I was chilling with the homies. We didn't really have no beats, so I was like, let me just start cooking up. And then, at a younger age, before I started doing that, I played the sax, played the clarinet. So I was like, musically inclined. I danced, so you know what I mean. Like it's always been in me to do music. So I was always inspired in some way, shape, or form.
So technically, this brother was a jazz musician before he got busy. All right, I got you.
Fact. Nah, on the low, I love jazz, bro. I love
Word.
jazz. OD, OD.
So, I mean, I hear hints and I hear synths and a lot of other stuff in your music. Have you ever had anybody pick apart like, oh, I hear jazz? Like, do you involve that in your process a lot? You think people pick that up?
Uh, I mean, nobody's ever. Actually, no, I can't say nobody. It's come up in conversation that people can see the influence. You know what I mean? Like, I listen to a lot of Miles, Herbie. Um, who else I listen to? There's a few other people, but it's always some sort of jazz theory is always incorporated in some way, shape, or form. Because to me, everything is feeling. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like I don't really follow too much theory like that. Everything is always about how it makes you feel. I mean, that's
right.
music in general, but that's what I always follow. Like it's always very heartfelt. You know what I'm saying? So um, that's always the base of everything.
Yeah, because I hear most DJs talk about crate diggers, but I don't hear producers really use that term. Is that a term you familiar with, digging in the crates? Because I can see right here on your
Oh
picture,
yeah,
man.
no, of course,
Yeah, bro.
of course. I mean, that's
Now,
how we
where's
all
this
started
at?
off.
Where's this at?
That's in LA, and how do you pronounce the final store? I think is Amoeba.
Amoeba in
Yeah,
LA?
yeah, but I think they recently closed down. I was there, me and my partner Butcher, we was in there digging and just chilling and vibing. So he had snapped that picture of me.
Oh,
That was
that's
a few years
fire.
back.
That's fire. That's fire. So, like,
Yeah, I
what
mean,
it,
anytime that I go to LA, I always try to at least go to some sort of spot and just do a little bit of digging.
you worked in LA? Have you worked with any artists out there on the West Coast?
I haven't worked with any artists that are LA based, not that I can think of off the top of my head, but I have gone out there a few times. Shout out to my people. Like I said, my partner Butcher is out there now. So we always working. My boy Cent, um, my boy Los. They doing their thing out there. I think they just dropped a new record with SZA.
Oh, they
Yeah,
working.
so, yeah, no, they working out there. I actually need to get out there because every time I speak with them, they telling me to go out there so we can get active.
Okay. Well, speaking of active, man, I know you got active back home on the East Coast. A
Facts,
lot of us are familiar with you, my brother, and one of the most familiar MCs from over here is Lloyd Banks. You've done some work with him, you
of
know.
course.
So,
Hmm.
like, how was that, man? How was it working with Banks? Because on the outside, growing up, when I would listen to Banks, I would know I felt like he was an introvert without even knowing what an introvert was. Then he just had a
Yeah.
subtleness about him. So, like, what was it like experiencing working with him? Like, was that different than what I know?
I mean, I think I could say the same thing. I almost feel the same way. I feel like that in a way that's how I kind of related to him because I'm the same way. You know what I mean? And growing up listening to G Unit, never would have even thought that I'd be producing with him. You know what I mean? But it's definitely a dope experience. It's always a dope collaborative effort. You know what I mean? I'll shoot him some shit and he'll let me know like, nah, this shit is crazy. I'm on this right now. I'm on this right now. Like usually
Yeah.
like I'll send him some shit and then he'll be, sometimes if I just pull up on him, he'll just be like, "Oh yeah, I'm working with this joint." But every once in a while, if it's crazy enough, he shoots me the text like, "Don't give this to nobody. I'm on this."
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's what's up, man. I know you got confidence in your work, but how does it feel to have like a MC love your work and want to get on a record you made?
I mean, that's what we live for. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like that's the purpose. So I always appreciate him for even giving me the chance and giving me the ear, his ear rather. You know what I mean? Just to listen to everything. But I feel like everything that I put into the music is very like is a part of me. You know what I mean? So I feel like
Hmm.
if we on the same page, if we can relate, then you gonna feel that. Pause.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I feel like if you put in your heart into everything, then most of the time your music is gonna be undeniable.
Mm.
You know what I
Straight
mean?
up. It comes across authentic. You can't stop that.
Yeah, and I mean at the end of the day, I'm never trying to sound like anybody else. Like I'm always trying to make sure that I have my own sound. So I'm always trying to make sure that I'm separating myself from everybody to make sure that when you hear that, oh, nah, that's a germ joint. You know what I mean?
So speaking of that individuality, right, that you have,
Hmm.
that authenticity, what do you feel like is troubling a lot of, or if there is trouble in your opinion, a lot of producers today, like the sound wise, you hearing any difference?
I feel like everybody's just following a formula.
Hmm.
Everybody's just following like they trying to get with what's hot. There isn't much. Everybody's using the same kits rather. Everybody's following the same formula melody wise. And I mean, at the end of the day, ain't really nothing wrong with that. Like ain't nothing new under the sun. We've been doing that. But I feel like because of the fast pace and everybody just following this formula, nobody's forced to be unique at this point. You know what I mean? You think back to the 90s. I mean, everybody always goes back to the 90s, right? Um, and even some of the early 2000s, like you couldn't come out sounding like anybody else.
Hmm.
You really had to separate yourself to be
Right.
unique. Now that's not really the case. You could sit there, go on the internet, turn on the radio, and hear a whole bunch of people that sound like somebody else,
That's
which is
true.
which is dope though because on the flip side, it's creating a lot of opportunities for a lot of people to be put in the limelight, make their bread, and you know what I mean? Like it's like a
Right.
little catch 22. Like so
Right.
it works in both ways, but I'm always down or more for the the push for standing out and being unique.
Right. Right. And I think that a lot of the culture traded in the value of the culture for what's going to be on the plate now.
Hmm.
You see it with the new movie industry with everything. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I feel you on that.
Facts. Yeah.
What are some I know the notable projects that we love, but like what like just name some of the projects you worked on with Banks.
Um. Well, I've been working with Banks for a minute, so
Mm-hmm.
on the production tip, it's been everything from Cold Corner 2 and on, and even before Cold Corner 2, we had put out Fly in the Wind. We put out with Jim Jones. We did a single called X Men. I
Mm.
did that joint with
I
him.
remember that joint. Yeah.
But even from before
Bef-
that, I was recording him. You know what I
Oh,
mean? So
really?
from the Five and Better series, from the beginning of the Five and Better series, right before Hunger for More 2, those five mixtapes, like I was there through all of those sessions, helping my cousin Doe record them, and then yeah, like I said, up to that point, right before Cold Corner 2 is when I did the production. I was around Banks just chilling for like a whole year, almost a year, 8 months to like a year before I even sent him a beat. You know what I mean? Just being in the room is important.
And you would just watch and learn from there and just work your way into the situation? Or was it like granted off rip? You was like the youngin in the room or something?
Yeah, well, my cousin Doe was engineering him. He was he was leading that situation. You know, he was
Right,
recording
right.
Yayo we got pulled into the situation with Fox, Maserati Fox, RIP.
By
Um,
RP Maserati Fox. Really.
um, so yeah, he was recording Yayo and Banks, and you know, I would just roll with him, and but yeah, pretty much I'm the youngin, I'm his younger cousin, just chilling, macking, and you know, that's once we was comfortable, it'd be like, all right, yo, I got some beats for you.
That's fire. That's fire. I actually, and I wouldn't be a good host if I didn't write down a quotable, make it corny, you know what I'm saying, make it cheesy, but I'm gonna read it. And this can attest to all the work y'all put in. Banks actually said it. It said, "Return of POK brought me the feedback. Halloween Havoc showed niggas I could repeat that." He said this on the Cold Corner. So we're gonna salute to
Facts.
all the producers that gave him that feel, man. That's what's up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shout
That's
to every
what's up.
producer involved.
That's what's up, man. So like, what what other artists have you grown with in the East Coast? Maybe some you could name, maybe some we might know. Who else have you been working with?
Um, you know, I've done work with Dave East. I've done work with shout out to my boy Conflict. Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
Swim.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to a lot of the louder crew
Yeah.
rather. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Um, I work with my homegirl Callie Pop. She is in New York based, but she's from Canada.
Okay.
So that's one of the artists that you know it's a tight niche I'm producing for right now. My boy Just the Essence, Queens native. He's been doing this thing for a long time.
Yeah, I seen some
Um,
joints from Just. Yeah, yeah. Very
yeah,
his
nah,
content's very strong.
nah. He is a an artist. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like at the end of the day, just could rap without a doubt. Like he's proven himself, but he's an artist. You know what I mean? Like, he's not afraid to go in any lane, and he's testing himself right now. You know what I mean? Like he's really at the end of the day, I could say it again. It's just he's just being an artist, just being
Right.
free at this point.
Right, right, right.
You
And
know?
I feel like you wouldn't want anybody to put you in that hood box. So I guess you
Yeah,
work
nah,
with
nah, nah.
everybody.
Yeah, nah. I got to. You know what I mean? I also work with Mike Classic on my project. Shout out to
Shout out to
Mike.
Mike Classic.
Facts. You know, I haven't locked in yet, but I'm supposed to lock in with Stargella. We've been talking for a minute about locking in. Um, Cello as well. You know,
Shout
Cello
out to
reached
Soul
out.
Group.
Shout out to Soul Group. Cello reached out a while back, and I haven't followed up. A lot's been going on, obviously, in the world, but
Hmm.
I have intentions of locking in with everybody.
That's what's up, man. Yo, you got crazy talent. The borough has crazy talent. We got to come together
Absolutely.
and get that out for the world, man.
Nah, absolutely. I feel like every borough has has had like a come around. Like everybody's kind of had like a second coming, except for
Hmm.
Queens, full
Hmm.
throttle. You know what I mean? And we have some of the most influential, amazing artists in hip hop. So we have like a responsibility to kind of unify and really make this a movement.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm definitely gonna lock in with everybody and just try to just do it for the town.
Do you see a difference with Queens artists and artists from other boroughs?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's in the music, but it's also in character. Like you could tell a Brooklyn nigga from a Queens nigga, you could tell a Bronx nigga from
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
we all have our ways of you know being unique,
right.
but
What are
it's all
some?
New York at the end of the day too.
That's a fact, and I'm gonna jump on that because I see Murder Mook say it on the Nori's podcast show, Drink Champs. Man, we got to stop dividing us with the boroughs. We're New York. We're New York strong.
Yeah, like you know, it ain't worth it at the end of the day.
It's
You
not
know what I mean? Like there's too many other areas getting to it. Like you got Atlanta. They I mean at the end of the day, every area is gonna have like the
right,
funny areas and you know not there's gonna be people that be doing shiesty shit at the end of the day. But
right.
like LA and Atlanta, they be on it. They be supporting each other. Like New York is the only place where we kind of like everybody's for themselves. You know what I mean? Like you think about it
Mm.
though. We in the club, we sitting there playing the wall, everybody mean
Yeah,
mugging, making sure
facts, facts, facts,
it's
facts.
just it's just how we made. But at the end of the day, we gotta get out of that
Mm,
because that shit is holding us back, and ain't no reason why we shouldn't have more artists flourishing
mm,
in the scene. You know what I mean? Like we just have
right.
a responsibility. This shit started here in New York, and like I said, we there's a lot of artists that paved the way in a big way from Queens. So we really got to start uniting. It starts with home first, and then it starts with branching everybody and branching
That's
out
a
with everybody.
that's a fact. That's a fact, man. I was just gonna ask you who you felt like, at least brought the most attention to the borough out of like just rappers or producers, like just out of Queens. Like, who do you think made a big stamp in hip hop? And that
Hmm.
what we got to reconnect with that stamp, as you said. But like, who left that last impression?
The last impression,
Yeah, it don't got to be the last per se, but who left a boom that you kind of ain't see in a minute or something?
the biggest is Fifth.
Fifth. That's what I agree. I agree, man.
Like the biggest is Fifth. Like
Right.
Fifth was a different. It wasn't even a wave. Like Fifth had a machine. Like he had Dr. Dre, he had Eminem, he
Banks.
had Banks, he had the whole G Unit. Like everything was it was a machine. Like you wasn't not down with G Unit if you was from the town. I'm
Was
sorry.
you around for any of that?
No, 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 no. I wasn't around at that point.
Okay, okay. So
No,
you
no, no,
just
no,
work
no.
solely with Banks.
Yeah, I did some work with Yayo as well. While that
Okay, yeah,
artist,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I definitely did some work with Ye.
Okay,
Um, but yeah, nah. As far as like all the mixtapes and Get Rich or Die Trying and that lead up, like I wasn't part of that just yet.
okay. But yeah, that's cool, man. 50, I agree. I agree. Some would say Nicki, some would say Nas. I think 50 was a crazy presence. You know what I'm saying? That was a
Yeah, nah.
crazy summer.
Shout out to Nicki because I used to record Nicki back in the day too.
Oh,
Um,
see, you work with Nicki.
yeah, shout out to my Fire and Ice family. She used to be up in Fire and Ice with us all the time. Shout out to Bunny Crumb, and again, Doe had pulled me into that situation. Um, but yeah, a lot of artists was coming through at that time. We had Stack coming through again. RP
Oh,
Fox was coming
RP
through.
Stack.
RP Stacks. We had a lot of artists coming through the Fire and Ice, so I was around a lot of things in a few beginning stages.
Okay, and in that room, because as an engineer, aside from being a producer, you got to link up with the artist. You got to feel a vibe. So, like, what's the most annoying thing, or something you hate to experience when working with an artist? What you don't have to say a name or put a name on it, but like as an
Hmm.
engineer, what's something you can't stand?
Egos,
Mm.
egos that block the creative process. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I view myself as a producer before anything, and a producer in the truest sense, not just a beat maker. You know what I mean? So I'm in that chair to assist and add to the creative process. So if you're just gonna sit there and just think that you got it and you don't need no sense of direction and just be egotistical, then that's something that always irritates me. And aside from that is people that don't know how to shut the fuck up in a room. Oh, I don't know if I can curse here. My
Yeah,
fault.
you could curse.
All right, my fault. Yeah. So yeah, nah. If you in the room, chill out. You know what I mean? I don't need to be trying to hear the music more than I hear you.
Wow. Yeah, you got to fade them out. You got to turn the volume all the way up, bro.
But then I gotta worry about shit bleeding if shit isn't insulated and soundproof the right way.
Nah, I feel you. So, like, what's some things now that we talked about what you don't like? What are the gems that you learned on your journey, whether it be production or just sitting there? What's something you can give somebody that's watching this right now that wants to produce? What's some gems you could lay on them, man?
Um, yeah, one of the most important things is being in the room.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So just making sure that you're available and willing to be part of the process, even if you're not necessarily in on it. You know what I mean? Like being there is half the step, half the way. You know what I mean? So um, aside from that, if we talking from the production and engineering tip, always make sure you save your shit and always have a backup for a backup for a backup. Because a lot
I
of
feel
shit
like
gets
you
to
had some experience or something happened.
yeah, nah. I mean, we all do at the end of the day. Even rappers, because it's just like if you
Hmm.
walking around with a hard drive and your shit break or your shit crash, and then you don't got it
That's
backed
it.
up, then you lost all your songs and all your sessions.
That's
You
a
know what I'm
fact.
saying? So always back up. Um, always be willing to give more, because just when you
Mm,
sitting there thinking, just when you think that you give enough, there's always more to give. You know what I mean? And don't think that
mm.
just because you have a lot of knowledge that there isn't something that you can't learn. We always learning something new every day, and you always can learn something new every day if you applying yourself. So I'm constantly learning how to mix better. I'm sitting there learning more theory, or I'm watching documentaries on great artists and seeing what their process was like and how I could use certain things um, with my process. You know what I mean? It's all a learning process. You can't sit there and think that you know everything, or you can't act like your shit don't stink just because you're nice. Like
Right.
it don't work that way.
That's right. It goes back to ego, like you said, man.
Yeah, yeah.
So where do you see
I
your
be
next
humble. I
move?
be humble.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. And then I could say this firsthand, man. Always working with you. That's all
Hmm.
I got. Just therapeutic vibes,
Oh no, I
calm
appreciate it.
vibe.
Good looks, bro.
Even though there was gangster shit going around, or maybe a blunt there, or a clip there, or whatever, somebody left something.
Hey man,
You
I
was
can't speak
always
on
keeping
it,
it,
but it's always around, right?
yeah. You always kept it chill, so I appreciate that. Um, what I wanted to
Appreciate you.
say
Thank you.
is, where do you see yourself? Like, what are you transforming into? Is there a end goal, or where do you see yourself? What is it more than music? What's going on?
Um, it's always been to be a true producer. That's one of the first things that I have to make sure that I'm doing. I feel like aside from feeling, the only way to really get your sound out there and the tr- and the best way is to break in artists. You know what I mean? Like, cause I could sit there and chase placements left and right, and it could work. You know what I mean? Not saying that a lot of people haven't done that. A lot of people have, but you got to break in artists to really get your shit out there like that. You think about it, like all the greats have done it. You know what I mean? Like from the Dr. Dre's to Timbaland to Jermaine Dupri to you name it. Like they broke in artists. You know what I mean? So definitely been working with, just like I said, I've been working with Cali Pop, everybody else that I named that I have intention of working with, and just really putting on and creating my sound and giving my sound to the world. You know what I mean? Because that's the purpose.
Yeah, it sounds like management vibes over there, man. It sounds like you got some death row dreams over there, bro.
I mean, you never know. We could definitely go that. We could
Ah,
definitely we could
look at the
definitely go that
smile. Look at the
route.
smile, y'all.
I mean, through the years, I've learned a lot. I've been through a lot. I've learned a lot. I went to college for music production,
Hmm.
so I've invested a lot,
Hmm.
and it isn't for me to keep to myself. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's really for me to give to everyone that's around me and uplift everyone around me. So if that should be the case that I'm managing, or if I'm signing, whatever the case may be, like, what I mean? We'll see. We'll see what it is when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for right now, it's really just creating the sound and just establishing myself as a producer and giving my sound to everyone out there.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, and from what I know, like I said, man, great spirit, and that management or putting other artists out there in itself is a very selfless
Hmm.
vision.
Yeah,
So yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, to they say the true meaning of living is living for others.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I truly believe in that.
Yeah. Oh, that's what's up.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I seen somebody interview Gucci and they were like, man, you found a lot of talent. Gucci found a lot of people that's in the industry doing well.
Absolutely.
And he said the main thing behind how he moves is he's not a hater. So you can't be a hater.
Why hate?
Yeah,
Why? Like it's
yeah,
only gonna sit there and damage your process. You know what I mean?
right.
To give love, for you to give love to anybody, like it's free. It don't cost nothing.
Straight
So why
up.
not?
But even further than that, like what I know is like some artists will see talent,
Hmm.
or somebody might see talent and be like, nah, I'm not doing that. They're gonna take the shine, or they're gonna get in the
Hmm.
way of what I'm trying to do,
Hmm.
you know? So for you to put people forth, that says a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been me to be the background guy. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
putting somebody in the forefront, like it's a collaborative effort. You know what I mean? Like it's a collective effort, and it takes a village. You know what I'm saying? Like we
no
really,
talk.
it's a team effort. Like again, like you can't sit there and do it yourself. You
No
know what I
talk.
mean? Like you have to have a team, and whether it doesn't matter if you're able to do it on your own. At some point, as you progress and as you grow, you're gonna need more hands.
Mm.
So the faster that you understand that, and the earlier that you create that surrounding for yourself, the faster you'll probably end up getting to the goal.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate those words. You've actually put something in my head, and I know people watching have learned something, man. And I hope that you do reach that goal, brother. And I know you will.
As well, same to you, brother. You already know.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Well,
sir.
we building behind the scenes, so
Yeah, of course, man. You my guy, yo, man.
of course, likewise.
I appreciate your time, man. This is Deep Wave TV. Shout out to the Germ, man. You got anything you want to tell the people you got coming up?
Um, I got me and Cali Pop dropping a
Hmm.
project. I did the majority of the production. Not everything, but I did the majority of it. So I'm executive producer on that project that'll be dropping soon.
Okay, okay.
Um, my boy just dropped a project not too long ago called Where I Stand. Um,
We get that on
right.
Apple, everything title,
Yeah, on all major platforms,
all major
Apple.
platforms.
Yeah. And in the near future, I plan on dropping another project. Um, if you haven't checked out my project already, Destiny to the Riches, make sure you check that out.
Oh, we're gonna get
Um,
that. We're gonna get that up. We got you.
yeah, I dropped. What else I dropped? I dropped a Blue Crates joint. If you haven't checked that out, that's what production that I've done with Banks.
Hmm.
Um, and I also did a like a calming, meditative little EP called
I was waiting on that one. Go ahead. What's it
it's
called?
called Stillness in Motion. You know that that one was like that was me thinking of how can I give back to the world in general, but also I dropped that during the pandemic, in the beginning of the pandemic, I believe. So I felt like some sort of meditative um, guidance and journey for people would be helpful and soothing.
That's what's
So
up.
I wanted to do that. So I dropped that as well. So y'all could check all that out. And yeah, just stay in tune with me. I got some things. I got some other investments that I'm working on. I can't really speak on right now, but
Right.
um, once everything is a go, I'll definitely be letting everybody know what's up. And it's looking like some promising things for this year and the next year.
All right, man. Well, y'all go follow my man Germ, man, underscore SOY, the Germ, underscore SOY. You know the work he's done, and he's not done yet. Queens is in the building. Shout out Germ, SOY, everybody else. This is Deep Wave TV. Germ, I'ma holla at you, bro.